Hey everybody, it's Gomlet and welcome back to another ranked draft of Rivals of Ixalan here. So we're gonna just start it right up with a Captain's Hook as our rare here. This card's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty powerful in aggressive decks. It is a 3 mana equipment, which is a lot of mana just to get it out on the field, because it doesn't do anything immediately. But it only costs 1 mana to equip, and then the equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has Menace. It's also a pirate. That won't matter too often. Usually this is just +2/+0 and Menace. Yeah, I think this card's pretty good because it basically turns any of your random creatures, just 2 mana 2/1s or 3 mana 2/3s, stuff like that, into a pretty big threat. The only downside is that you can't just bounce this around to your better creatures all the time, because if you put the Captain's Hook onto something else, then you have to destroy the initial creature, so this is basically like an unmovable equipment. You can only move it once the creature has been dealt with in some way. But I do think it's pretty powerful. The other cards here, there are still some other good cards that might actually be the picks. There's Needletooth Raptor. It's a 4 mana 2/2. When it's dealt damage, deals 5 to a creature an opponent controls. This is nice because it basically forces your opponent to either not attack or just let you get a removal spell out of this guy. And in some situations, very rarely, but in some situations this guy can just kill 2 of their creatures. If they only have stuff with like 2 toughness and they still are wanting to be really aggressive. There's also a Forerunner of the Legion. This is obviously great. All of the Forerunners are really good. So yeah, this is good, but it would like force us to start just drafting vampires immediately, which I'm not opposed to, but I think I just want to take the rare, because it's pretty powerful and it'll go into literally any deck, so we're just going to pick up the Captain's Hook. And we might just start drafting pirates again. I know we did just draft pirates last time, but if that's what's getting sent to you, I mean, that's a rare pirate card again. It's the Direfleet Poisoner. I think it's pretty nice. Basically, a 2 mana removal spell can kill a non-flying creature, just because it's got Death Touch and Flash, so your opponent can never really play around this. Like, they just attack with their 6/6 or something, and you're just like, bam, Flash, Death Touch, block it. But yeah, it doesn't kill flyers, so that's like somewhat of a problem, but still, it's really nice. And it has, on top of the ability to just do that, it has a lot of upside if you end up playing a pirate deck. You can often just use this as a combat trick to turn your 2/2 into a 3/3 when they block with their own 2/2, and then you are just getting free card advantage there. It's very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Direfleet Poisoner here. And listen, I don't control the cards that Magic Arena gives me. I don't think it's my fault if I end up drafting the exact same deck if they literally give me the same second and third pick that I had last time. Or maybe it was first and second pick, I don't know. But I think it's Forerunner of the Coalition here, and it's not very close. I have a pirate synergistic card here, so picking up another pirate card, specifically one that also cares about me having a lot of pirates, is going to pretty heavily put me into a pirate deck. But it's also just the best card to take here, I think. We could take a Dusk Charger if I want to try to just not be pirates. Dusk Charger is quite strong. It's a 4 mana 5/5 later in the game. And when it's not, a 4 mana 3/3 is still okay for a little bit. But you do definitely want to trigger this card's City's Blessing to make it a 5/5. I think I'm just going to take the Pirate Forerunner here. And we will be off to the races trying to draft pirates. Unfortunately, no pirates in this pack. Let's see what the best cards are, though. There's a Slaughter the Strong. Seems weird. Probably not going to end well for us almost ever. Yeah, this card could, like, theoretically be good, but I just see too many situations where you play it in your deck, and then you cast it, and it lets you keep 2 2/2s, but they get to keep, like, 1 3/3, and then their 1 3/3 is just, like, bigger than your 2/2s, so what are you really gonna do? This is a weird card. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. The other white card in here is not that great. It's 4 mana, 3/3, puts a counter on another vampire you control. And then there's Blazing Hope. Blazing Hope's pretty much unplayable. It can exile something once you're really low on life, but by the time that you're really low on life, it's often just too late. So yeah, I mean, I think the best cards... I don't think the Jade Bear is very good, especially because it only works in Merfolk. Tillinali's Crown is okay, but not particularly good. We could just take an Evolving Wilds, or we could take like a Soul of the Rapids or a Recover. I actually think I might just take an Evolving Wilds here, because I'm not really excited about any of these cards. And Evolving Wilds will definitely go into our deck if we're 2 colors, no matter what 2 colors they are. Now just go ahead and pick up an Evolving Wilds for now. So we can take a Mutiny, a Grasping Scoundrel, or we could move into blue-black pirates this time and pick up a Deadeye Rig Hauler. I think this card's pretty strong. It's a 4-mana 3/2 that if you attacked with a creature, you get to bounce one of their creatures back to their hand. So it gives you a pretty good tempo advantage if you're just trying to kill them quickly, and that's usually what the pirate decks are trying to do, as we saw last time with our black-red pirates deck. Yeah, I like picking up the Deadeye Rig Hauler, if nothing else, just so that we're playing a slightly different deck than we did last time. We could just take Mutiny or Scoundrel, but I'm going to take Deadeye Rig Hauler here. I do think it is a strong card, so it's not like I'm missing out on a pick by doing that. So there's a Buccaneer's Bravado or a Dusk Charger. We do have 3 pirates now, but if I pick the Bravado, I don't know how much I want to play a 3-color deck, but we do have an Evolving Wilds already to slightly help us play 3-color pirates if we end up doing that. Dusk Charger is probably the safest pick, but Bravado has a lot of upside if we do end up in red over blue, or if we end up in 3-color. I think I'm just going to take Dusk Charger here. It is a pretty strong card. And this pack, there's not a whole lot. I guess we'll take the 2/1 pirate here. This pack, we've got the 2-mana 2/2 that just destroys dinosaurs, so that's pretty good. I think I'll take that. There's also another Buccaneer's Bravado, so Bravados are just everywhere. I guess we'll take another 2/2. Another Dusk Charger. Alright, I'm liking this. Dusk Charger is pretty nice. Even if you are just in a pirate deck, it's okay to just have random 5/5s. Doesn't matter if they're not a pirate, if they're a decently sized creature. And that is pretty beefy. So we'll take Dark Inquiry here. I'm not usually a fan of running that card, but it is possible that I will end up playing it. So if we need like a 23rd playable, we can throw it in here. This pack's a little bit awkward because we got a pretty good pirate rare, but it's a blue-red one. And we are pretty firmly in black. So, like, if this were just like a black-red pirate rare, that would be completely fine, because the only thing that we are for sure is black, and this card is not black. It's blue and red. So if we take this card, then we're going to have to play 3-color to play it. Because I can't cut black at this point. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black cards. I have 1 blue card. We do have the Evolving Wilds. This card isn't, like, insanely strong. It does copy any creature on the battlefield. So that's pretty good. This could be really nice if we get to, like, copy a Forerunner. We just go Forerunner into clone of a Forerunner. Card has a lot of potential for sure. There's also another Evolving Wilds in here that we could try to wheel to help with the 3-color mana base, and we're not missing out on that much by taking it. If we're just taking a card for a black-blue deck, then we're just taking another Dusk Charger or a Mausoleum Harpy, I think. Mausoleum Harpy can be pretty good. Maybe that's the pick. I don't actually know how strong this card is. Remember, another creature control dies. If you have the City's Blessing, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I think that's probably a lot better in a vampire deck than a pirate deck, just because vampire decks can make a whole lot of creature tokens and just let them all die all the time, but even just in any deck with a relatively high creature count, this could be pretty strong. Maybe the pick is just the Harpy here. I think I'm going to disappoint some people here and just take the Harpy. Stick to 2 colors. Wow! Wow, this is a hard pick. There's another Forerunner of the Coalition. There's a Warkite Marauder. This card's insane. It's a 2-mana 2/1 flyer. Whenever it attacks, target creature defending player controls loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. So this is a 2-mana 2/1 flyer that turns off a flying blocker every turn. Well, it turns off any blocker. But if it's a flying blocker, then you just say, oh, it doesn't have flying anymore till end of turn. So they essentially need to have 2 different creatures with flying or reach to be able to block this guy alone. Like, that's at worst what he does. And at best, if they only have like 1 creature out, and I've got my 1-mana 2/1 into this, and then they play a 3-mana creature, this guy just makes sure that my 2/1 still gets in there. And I'm still just curving out and beating him up. This card is very good. Yeah, this is oh man. 2 Forerunners is so good as well, though, because you can cast 1 Forerunner, search your library for the second Forerunner, then cast that Forerunner and search for another pirate, which is actually really strong, because then anytime another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 2 life per pirate. That's a really fast clock. And then we have Waterknot, which we don't have any removal yet, so Waterknot is very much worth looking at here. And then there's also Secrets of the Golden City, which I do like a lot. Oh, this is a hard pick here. I think it's going to be Warkite Marauder, though. This card is just so powerful when you're on the aggressive. This is very unfortunate. I think it's really unlikely that we'll wheel either of these cards, but if we do, then I am going to be incredibly happy. Tendershoot Dryad. There is nothing that I'm really wanting to play in my pirate deck. If I'm playing black-blue, I'm taking Recover. I'm just going to take Tendershoot Dryad because we've seen how incredible that card is, how it can just take over the game. If we get some more mana fixing, I think it's worth a splash. So here we have a Fathom Fleet Hoarder or a Secrets of the Golden City. I like both of those a lot, so let's go ahead and check out how many creatures we have here, and that'll kind of decide what we do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 1 creature at 3 mana. I think I just want the Fathom Fleet border here. Just the on-curve creature. And this pack, there's no pirates, unfortunately. I guess there is a red pirate, but it's not exactly what we want. Guess we could take another Dark Inquiry. If I end up running Dark Inquiry, then this is what the deck looks like. Let's see what happens if I run Tendershoot. Could maybe even try to just cut blue out of here. If I was omnipotent and I knew that I was about to get a Tendershoot Dryad, I probably would have just picked another Forerunner of the Coalition. That way there's literally only 1 blue card in the deck, so then I just cut Deadeye Righauler and put in Tendershoot Dryad. That would have been really good. I think I'm going to take the black card here so that it's a little more likely I could just end up playing black, splashing these random colors here. Alright, these blue cards are actually strong. Spirewinder, Secrets of the Golden City. Both of those are quite strong. I think I want the Spirewinder here. It's just another flying creature. And we'll take another Spirewinder, I think. I'm not a huge fan of Pitiless Plunderer. In theory, it can do some cool stuff, but overall, 4 mana 1/4 blocker that can get you treasures. Not exactly what you want in a very aggressive deck, so I'm just going to take Spirewinder. Here we could take another Evolving Wilds or a Soul of the Rapids. And I think I'd rather have another Evolving Wilds just to make sure we can play this Tendershoot Dryad. Well, this is working out. Triple Evolving Wilds. We can definitely play Tendershoot Dryad now. And now we can even start playing some double blue cards like Secrets of the Golden City without worrying too much mana-wise. This is shaping up to be a little bit of a weird deck, but it's looking pretty good. It's basically just black-blue pirates splashing in a Tendershoot Dryad. We don't have like a critical mass of pirates like we did last time. Last time, basically everything we had was pirates. This deck is more of just an aggressive deck with a sub-theme of pirates, because we do have, you know, 2 Spirewinders, 2 Dust Chargers, and a Tendershoot Dryad and a Harpy. All of those are not pirates. So we do have a lot of non-pirate creatures here. All of these cards kind of suck. I guess we could take a Sea Legs. I don't think we're playing a Sea Legs. I guess we can. It's sort of a combat trick in a pirate deck, because you can give your pirate +2 toughness. So if you attack with a 2/2 pirate and they block with a 2/2, just make your pirate a 2/4. Just like get them. Guess we could take a Naturalize? I don't think I'm gonna main deck a Naturalize, but I'm definitely not playing any of the other 2 cards here. Take another Sea Legs. And last pick, random uncommon. That's pretty cool. So here we have Sanctum Seeker. We have like no vampires, unfortunately. We have Siren Storm Tamer. That actually seems alright, because we can just play that out on turn 1 as an aggressive flyer, try to keep getting damage on them, and then if they ever try to kill... If this manages to stay on the board until late game, if they ever try to kill like our Tendershoot Dryad, we just have some protection for it. Seems pretty neat. I don't think we're playing Prosperous Pirates. Maybe we are, just to help us cast Tendershoot Dryad, but I mean 5 mana 3/4, again, not really what you want when you're trying to be super aggressive, which I think we are. Shipwreck Looter is okay, Windstrider's okay. I think that the pick here is between Siren Stormtamer and Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, and we do have 5 4-mana cards already, so I think I'll just take the Siren Stormtamer. Ooh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh my god. This is, it's another one of those moments. Separate the boys from the men. Yeah. We're gonna splash red and splash green then. Admiral Beckett Brass is here. Definitely want to wheel that unclaimed territory, but I think it's pretty unlikely because at least half of the players will usually end up playing a tribal deck. You very much can end up with decks that aren't very tribal at all. You can play like white-blue flyers, you can play green-black value, you can play a lot of stuff. But I think that there's enough tribal decks that someone's going to take the unclaimed territory. That was the non-basic land in that pack, that you choose a creature type when you play it, and then it just taps for any color for that creature type. But that would be exceptionally good in this deck, because then we can just say Pirate, and it'll help us cast Beckett Brass, and also our other pirates. Pack's not very good for our deck. I guess we just take a Direfleet Interloper, because it is a pirate. And here... Target opponent discards 2 cards, and you get a treasure token? I think I like that better than Dark Inquiry in our deck, because it accomplishes sort of the same task in getting our opponents at a card disadvantage, while also giving us a treasure token to help us cast Admiral Beckett Brass or our Tendershoot Dryad. So I think I'm going to put in the Heartless Pillage, and we'll cut both the Dark Inquiries here, and then we're back down to a 23-card deck, 17 lands. Don't think this is a makeshift munitions deck. Deadeye Tormentor's okay. Mark of the Vampire can be really good. Do we have anything that's really good to enchant with a Mark of the Vampire is the question. So, having a Siren Stormtamer in our deck definitely makes Mark of the Vampire a little bit better, because then if we manage to draw the Siren and the Mark of the Vampire, we have protection against one removal spell, so we don't just immediately get 2 for 1. Mark of the Vampire would be pretty sick on just like a Warkite Marauder. And then just like on a Spirewinder or a Dusk Charger, yeah, Mark of the Vampire could be good in here. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. I think the card is pretty powerful. We do have a lot of 4 mana stuff though, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't think we want this much at 4 mana. I might actually just have to cut the Mark of the Vampire, unfortunately. Here we'll just take a Skullduggery. Because I don't want to pick up any more red or green cards. I want those to just be like 1-card splashes to make the mana as easy as possible. We'll take a March of the Drowned. I don't think I'm playing that. Pirate's Prize I could play for sure. It is also another 4-mana card, though. We have a lot at 4 mana, so we're going to have to cut some of those, I think. So I think next pack is the pack that had the Admiral Beckett Brass and the Unclaimed Territory, so we'll have to see if we end up wheeling it, and I really hope we do. No. Absolutely do not. Alright. Well, all of these are pretty mediocre. They're pretty average. Duress can hit some stuff, but sometimes it won't, and when it doesn't, it's really bad. Desperate Castaways, a lot better in a less aggressive Pirates deck, unless you just have a million treasure producers, which we don't. We do have a Captain's Hook and some treasure token makers. I don't think we're running a March of the Drowned when we already have 1 in the sideboard anyway, so I guess we'll pick up the Castaways and possibly run it. And now we're just taking stuff that we're definitely not playing. Alright. So we have to... Oh, I forgot! I didn't count the 3 Evolving Wilds when I was building this deck, so we only have to cut 1 card here. So yeah, our curve is definitely a little awkward. I think we absolutely just have to cut one of the 4 mana cards. For sure. Let's see. I like all of these cards, though. The hard choices. I like the mana base. I like 1 mountain, 1 forest with triple Evolving Wilds. Because we also have several treasure producers. I think we have 3. Because we have Heartless Pillage, we have Pirate's Prize, and we have Prosperous Pirates. Let's take out... Do we just take out one of these Dust Chargers now that we have an Admiral Beckett Brass to try to buff all our pirates? Do we have any low mana cost stuff that isn't a pirate? No. All of our smaller creatures are pirates. Okay, that's good. Captain's Hook making things pirates actually did end up mattering since we have Admiral Beckett Brass. Kind of think we're supposed to just take out a Spirewinder or a Dusk Charger here. Just because they're not pirates. It's a little awkward because both of those cards are real strong. We ended up with basically no removal. We have a Direfleet Poisoner and a Skullduggery. So that could be a pretty big problem. I do think that our last deck was a lot more consistent than this. I feel like this deck is pretty similar to the blue-red deck that we drafted in that it has some bombs. But other than that, not a lot going for it. But I do think that this deck was drafted a little better than that deck, even though it ended up with no removal. I think that is by far the biggest problem with this deck, is that there's no removal, no interaction with our opponents, really. But I do think that our creatures, everything that we have to fill out this deck is like actually a good card. Or at least a decent card. Let's take out one of the horses, I guess. Because since we have no removal, I don't want to just end up dying to flyers. I'd like to have at least something with flying. And we really... something bigger than a 1-1 or a 2-1, because that's just not going to block opposing Spirewinders. So we'll just go ahead and have double Spirewinder in here, plus Mausoleum Harpy, and hope that that is good enough. And I think we run it as is. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 lands. We will give it the done. We are playing 4-color Pirates. We definitely ended up drafting a different deck than we did yesterday, even though we started with basically the exact same picks. We started with Direfleet Poisoner and the Pirates Forerunner. I don't think I can keep this. I need another land to cast anything, because Skullduggery doesn't do anything unless I have a creature. So yeah, I need a land to be able to cast Forerunner, and then when I cast Forerunner, I want to search for a pirate, so then I know I'm not drawing a land next turn, so I know I'm not immediately playing my 4-drops at least. I think this has to be a mulligan. This is a lot more keepable. This is mildly more keepable, let's be honest. Let's be honest here. This is... like, we can cast stuff here, and we have an actual threat, just putting a Captain's Hook on a Dinosaur Hunter. But we definitely need to draw some cards here. But that is also because it's just less cards than our first hand. So I kind of like just Evolving Wildsing next turn for the mountain, just to make sure that we just Beckett Brass turn 4. But then if my opponent has removal, that's real awkward. I guess I could play Brass turn 5, and that's probably okay if I just cast a Captain's Hook here. And this way's funnier, because then I'll have 4 colors out next turn, and my opponent's really just like, what is happening? So we're playing against white-blue at the minimum. Could be more colors. Do they have main decked artifact removal? That would be bad for us. Looks like not yet. There's an Exalted Sky Marcher. We could just play our own flyer now, but I think I like playing the hook, getting aggressive. Let's do that later. Bam! We're getting in for 4 because Menace. I just want to get him with the Surprise Mountain. Ooh, they are 3-color as well. Vance's Blasting Cannons. That card's really good. They basically just draw an additional card every turn. That's essentially what it does. It is, at the beginning of their upkeep, exile top card into the library. If it's a non-land card, they can cast it. And if they cast 3 spells in 1 turn, then they can transform it. If I get a Treasure of Heartless Pillage, can I cast anything? No, because I have 5 mana, I spend 3, then I have 3 mana total. So we're not going to Heartless Pillage this turn. So we'll just drop down Beckett Brass for the extra damage. Hit him for 5. Drop an island. And pass. So this is a pretty big problem. My opponent has card advantage for sure. They have a whole lot of cards in hand, and in addition they're getting an extra card every turn that they get to choose to cast. If they ever cast 3 spells in 1 turn, I think I just lose, because the Spitfire Bastion will be able to just start machine gunning my dudes. Just 3 mana, tap it, 3 to any target. All my dudes have 3 toughness right now, so that's going to be really bad. So opponent is at 9. We can Heartless Pillage and Forerunner in the same turn. Yeah, I think I like just attacking with Dinosaur Hunter here. problem with that is that I only trade for one of their creatures, but I do trade for a Pterodon, which is a nice large creature. What happens if I attack with both? If I attack with both, if they want to kill Beckett Brass, they have to double block Beckett Brass, and I get to kill their Sky Marcher and they take 5? That seems good. I think I attack with both here. They do want to double block Beckett Brass and take 5. Bold. So yeah, we're gonna kill the Sky Marcher. So we will Heartless Pillage them, followed up with a Forerunner of the Coalition. Because that will make it so they die real quickly. Because I just get to put any pirate on top of my deck, and also, when I cast that pirate, they lose a life. So they're essentially at 3 now, thanks to the Forerunner. So it looks like they just had lands. Oh, land and another Pterodon. Yeah, I'd like to search for pirates. So what's the best play here? What's most likely just going to kill him? Just another Menace creature, probably? We could take another Menace creature. We could also take a Warkite Marauder. That's pretty likely to be really good. Deadeye Righauler could be okay. Poisoner could be okay. Whatever I pick, they're going to see. I think I just like the Warkite Marauder. That's going to be really hard to survive through. Because I get to play this and give it Menace, so they need 3 flying creatures to be able to block a Warkite Marauder. If it survives. Because it'll have Menace, and when it attacks, I get to turn off one of their blockers. Siren Lookout. So they have a 2/3 flyer now. Squire's Devotion. That is absolutely a way to survive. So I attack with Dinosaur, Hunter, they double block, or they go to 3? Yeah, I don't attack with the Foreigner. I think I want the 1 life on them. Alright, so they double block, and we get to kill both of them. So we play the Warkite Marauder, we put the Captain's Hook on it. They're running out of cards here, but the Squire's Devotion really could help them stabilize. They could absolutely win this game thanks to the lifelink. That is very threatening to my initial plan of the Warkite Marauder. Because now they just gain 3 life a turn, so I'm essentially, with the Warkite Marauder, only doing 1 damage to them every turn. They definitely outrace me at that pace. Jesus Christ, into Curious Obsession? That's pretty bad. Yep. Pretty sure opponent's gonna stabilize with all the card advantage here and just take over the game. Because now they're drawing 3 cards a turn. Yeah, I mean, at least we get to get in there with the Marauder. I think we just attack with everybody. Man. But then we are going to take 4, and they're going to gain 4. I don't think we can win here. Like, we take 4, they gain 4, they also draw a card. I could play a Spirewinder and chump block the Pterodon so that they don't draw a card, but then they still draw a card off of Vance's Blasting Cannons. And they go up to 9, and then I only hit back for 6. If I play Spirewinder, how many permanents do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I play Spirewinder or Prosperous Pirates, that I can kill them if they don't block next turn, but they're obviously just going to block. I guess we'll play Spirewinder so we have the option of blocking. I don't think I'm going to end up doing that, though. They just get a land there. I think they just got a land there. But they get another card off this Curious Obsession. Yeah, I think we did an admirable effort. But our opponent has drawn probably twice as many cards as us at this point, thanks to Blasting Cannons and Curious Obsession. That was a weird attack. They must have another creature in their hand. Because otherwise I can turn off the Pterodon's ability and then they just like have to block or die. I guess a 0/1 Pterodon still turns into a 2/3 lifelinker, so that just blocks Forerunner fine, which is unfortunate. God, yeah, that Squire's Devotion really just got us. Bouncing Forerunner's pretty awkward. So now we have to block Pterodon next turn. We can Pirates and Dinosaur Hunter, but then we're not getting the damage off the Forerunner. There's just no way. I can only do 4 damage to them, and then they can just gain the 4 back? Maybe I should have played Pirates last turn just for the 1 damage to them. But then, like, nothing really happens differently here. Guess we'll just play as many creatures as possible. If I attack with both, I just die. So yep, that's a 2/3 with no abilities. On blocks at least. They draw a Dive Down. That could help them flip the cannons pretty easily. Oh my god, I'm kind of an idiot. I maybe should have just not attacked. But it worked out because they drew Dive Down. So if I hadn't attacked, then I could have double blocked to try to kill it, but they drew Dive Down, so I couldn't do that anyway. So, the best play probably would have been not attacking, just to attempt to trade with Suncrested Pterodon. But, with like Omnipotent knowing what they drew that turn, I actually made the better play by accident. Because they just had a Dive Down backup, so I couldn't have killed it. Shit, that's another flyer. Yeah, I mean, I think we're dead. I don't think there's really anything to do here. What do we got? I guess I should have done that last turn. I forgot about that card. That's super awkward. Yep. Well, I could have bounced the Pterodon last turn and been in a lot better position. If I just played Forerunner instead of double Pirates, be in a way better spot. I guess I should have attacked with Dinosaur Hunter, because their only non-dinosaur is the Griffin, so anything else just dies. Yeah, I have not played particularly well this game, I'm gonna be honest. I think overall it probably wouldn't have mattered, but there was like a chance at winning if I wasn't being stupid. Yeah, I kind of just... man. Yeah, I should have just played the Forerunner last turn to ensure that I get a Deadeye Rig Hauler to turn off their Pterodon 1 turn faster. But yeah, they have so many cards. Yep, I was not playing particularly well from behind there. I did not crack the Evolving Wilds, that way I know I draw my Deadeye Rig Hauler. They're at 17 life now? Oh my god. Good lord. I mean, I'm at 1 and they have 3 flyers out now. I don't know why I'm still doing math here. That was brutal. We got them down to 4, but then they played 2 cards that let them draw an additional card every turn, and that's brutally hard to beat. Just major card advantage there. I think my only option was to try to outrace that deck, and I just slightly didn't get there. It was nice that they never got to flip their blasting cannons. I think the game would have actually gone just even worse at that point, because I didn't have anything that would survive blasting cannons. So this hand's a little bit slow, but it's fine. Sworn Guardian from opponents. Drop the Forerunner first. Kinda wanted to just drop Border, because it's a 3/3, so it actually attacks into the Sworn Guardian. But I can also just grab a Poisoner, and then I attack into it. Also grab Beckett Brass, but I don't have a Mountain, so I don't think I want to do that. I'd also take a Rig Hauler, because I could take a 4-mana one for next turn. I guess we'll just take a 4-mana Pirate for next turn. River Darter from opponents. Just drop the 4-mana guy. Glad I didn't take the Rig Hauler, because that play from opponent makes attacking horrifically bad. Swinging in with the 2/3, no blocks. Did I Rig Hauler from opponents? Wow, are they gonna give me the second search? Either of these is not a very good creature to bounce. I just get to... Okay, alright. They played it smart. They did not bounce the card. So I could just play a 3/3. Then they can't really attack me with their River Darter anymore. Or I could play Prosperous Pirates and they can't really attack me with anything. That's fine. I don't need to use this Evolving Wilds immediately. I don't actually need to use this Evolving Wilds ever, because I have the 2 treasure tokens, which means I can cast Beckett Brass and Tendershoot Dryad now. But I will still use the Evolving Wilds next turn, just to make sure I'm drawing less lands later in the game. They drop their own Prosperous Pirates. Looks like it's going to be a long game. This game will probably just turn into whoever draws their bombs first, and that's 1. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I can cast Beckett Brass and Heartless Pillage them. Yeah, I think I'd like to do that, but save a treasure token. Or I guess I could just use Evolving Wilds for the forest, so it doesn't really matter. If I play Beckett Brass now, do they just kill it? Like, I don't need Beckett Brass right now. Because I'm not going to attack if I play her. So I guess we could just establish stuff on this board for now. And just play her as like the last thing, just in case they have some kind of removal spell. Yeah, the second part of Beckett Brass's ability is just never going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and Heartless Pillage them right now. We don't get a treasure token from it because we didn't attack, but they only have 3 cards in hand. They're going to have to discard at least something good. Or their hand just sucks, which looks like it was the case. I guess they had to discard a Water Trap Weaver. Oh boy. Alright. Yep, we could not have made them discard that because they would have just cast it this turn regardless. So I guess it was 2 bad cards and a Hadana's Climb, which kinda just kills me. For sure. I'm gonna Secrets here because we can still cast Admiral. It'll just cost both our treasures. Oh boy. I think we just play Admiral and just swing with everybody. So they're just going to start climbing all over us. But if we do that, they get to kill our 4/4. But then their other blocks aren't very good. They just block my 4/4 with Prosperous Pirates, and then their other blocks are not good. I think we do that. So trade Rig Hauler for Forerunner, kill Hoarder, and then just lose another creature? Okay, I guess they get to kill Interloper as well. But they're down to 12, and now they have 1 threat and a 1/3. I'm pretty sure we just die to this Hadana's Climb. That attack looked pretty bad, but we didn't really have a choice, because if we just sit here, then Hadana's Climb just kills us so fast there, because then they could just start attacking with 1 gigantic threat while sitting behind a wall of creatures. Like, the more turns that Hadana's Climb just sits here doing stuff, like, the worse it's going to be for us. Well, the plan is definitely flying creatures now. So just send out the flyers. They're going to have to use their Hadana's Climb defensively to give flying at this point. We have to just pass here. We could attack with both, but it seems bad. Main deck Plummet, alright. That'll get us. Man, now I just wish any time that my opponent plays a main deck card that's as specific as Plummet, I cry a little on the inside because I'm like, if we were just playing green-red dinosaurs, then we would just automatically have card advantage. That's so good. What are you gonna hit us for 12? I guess you get to turn your Sworn Guardian into a 2/4 on blocks. Do your thing. Hits us for 12. Hopefully I draw another flying blocker, that would be pretty good. So that I can actually just attack with everybody this turn. Man, if they didn't have Plummet though, these things would be so good. Things would be so good right now. Because then I could actually get the Admiral Beckett Brass's second trigger to steal one of their creatures. That would be hilarious. Bam! We could still win this game. Maybe I should have pumped for the 1 extra damage. Yeah, it's insanely unlikely that I'll be able to block with this Dire Fleet Poisoner. Just use the ability in response now. This does force them to use the ability. What? That's the scoop. I guess they were at a low enough life total that if I force them to use the ability and they don't get to commit enough creatures to the board, I do just swing back at them for a lot. Well, that was an intense game, but we fended off the Hidana's climb with just a critical mass of creatures getting aggressive. Alright. I'm gonna keep this. This is a real risky keep by my standards. Probably shouldn't keep it, but if I draw any one land, then this hand's great, because I can Pirate's Prize into Beckett Brass. I also have a Spirewinder later. Should probably mulligan, but I'm also on the draw, so that helps. Uh-oh. Opponent is somewhat aggressive. That's a 1-mana 2/1. I would call that at least somewhat aggressive. And there's our 4th land, so at least we made that. I'm not going to block their 2/1 with my 2/2, but I will put it on the board. That's quite the curve. They didn't have anything on turn 2. If they had something on turn 2, that would just be a unstoppable curve. But regardless, that's pretty threatening. Maybe even should have just traded my 2/2 Death Touch for their 2/1 at that point. Just not even attack that turn. Because, yeah, and I'm down to 12 already. All my creatures enter tapped. So my dudes are slow. It's a Legion's Landing. Oh, no! They get to flip a Legion's Landing because I didn't trade my 2/2 for their 2/1. Well, I could not have foreseen the Legion's Landing, so I don't think that it's a fair assessment to say that that is a reason that I should have blocked the 2/1. I think blocking the 2/1 would entirely be for life total circumstances, but it does feel insanely bad now. Oh boy. So what do we do here? I think we just play the Flyer. Next turn we play Prosperous Pirates, just trying to get closer to Ascend. And I don't think we attack here. Because they are definitely just attacking with everybody, so I'm just going to go ahead and eat the 1/1, try and get their board at least a little bit smaller here. Just eat the 1/1, take 4. Down to 8. Definitely not a good position right now. Soul of the Rapids, that's not that bad. So if I get to Ascend, I'm like super fine. So 5, 6, 7, Prosperous Pirates is the last 3 counters, so that makes our Spirewinder a 3/4, which is perfect. That is what we need right now. I think at this point I will trade my 2/2 for the Aspirate, because I am really low on life. Never mind, they got Ascension. I'm pretty sure I'm just dead. If they have a removal spell, I'm dead immediately, but otherwise, no attacks. That gives me a mild chance. A very mild chance. They need to, like, not draw removal. So I think what I need right now is more flying creatures, so I have to just, like, Pirate's Prize. That's a flying creature, so it's a start. It can trade with their 2/1, so that's good. Oh yeah, it comes into play tapped. Oops. That's unfortunate. I think we gotta just pass. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my mountain so I don't have to spend a treasure on Beckett Brass. I think we're fine on mana otherwise. And if we're ever in a position where we need more blue or black, we just have these treasures now for bonus. Oh my god, this is really bad. Just got a whole bunch of flyers. I definitely need to draw like my Warkite Marauder and stuff at this point. I guess once I play Beckett Brass, Storm Tamer turns into a 2/2 flyer, which can trade with one of Soul of the Rapids, which is pretty good. So I could block a Soul of the Rapids here, take 4. Not, like, super terrified anymore, because I don't lose a creature if I do that. So things could be looking up. I think we cast Beckett Brass. Because now Storm Tamer's a 2/2. So it trades for Soul of the Rapids. And now I'm going to cast Interloper to try to get some card advantage here. And if we explore into something bad, okay, we just got a land, so it just goes into our hand. But if we explore it into, like, just some random, like the 1-mana 2/1 pirate or something, we would just put that in the graveyard immediately. They only have 1 ground creature. But I think I'd rather just leave the 3/3 Death Touch back to block it than to attack. Because blocking it with a Ceratops just lets them keep getting more and more life throughout the game. This Sunwing has put in a lot of work. It's been really concerning not to be able to just immediately block with the Storm Tamer that I played and stuff like that, but they didn't attack anyway, so it worked out. So we lose the second that they draw removal or a pump spell. And if we get into a top deck where we still basically just lose because they get to make a 1/1 lifelinker every turn, okay, well, we lost. Because that's... we block one of the 3 power guys and we take 7... yeah, we just lost. We absolutely just lost. That's unfortunate. It just does not matter what we draw now. Because it comes into play tapped regardless. Blue-Black Pirates is just getting destroyed today. I don't think this deck is particularly bad, but the not having removal aspect that I was talking about earlier just has ended up really bad for us. I don't think we had that many opportunities to get removal in Blue-Black, though. We did have a shot at a Water Knot that we probably should have taken, but that's basically it as far as I can remember. We did have multiple shots at, like, Mutinies if we moved into red earlier. I think this is the event we just lose because we don't have removal. Alright, so I attacked like that because it made it so if I got really lucky and they made a really, really bad block, then I could steal one of their flyers. But even then, I would only have 2 flying blockers. I guess, yeah, no, then I'd have 2 flying blockers and they'd have 2 flying attackers, so I would live if they had done a really dumb block there, but they did not. I guess I can't respond. Oh! There we go. Alright, well this deck is not working out too hot. I think we're 1-2. We are 1-2. Hopefully we can up that record a bit. For me, 3-3 is a bad record. I really, really dislike it. If I ever go worse than a 3-3, I just feel like I did awful. Even though 3-3 is like exact average, But like, I feel like my blue-red deck, I feel like I drafted that deck worse than this one. But it did have, like, better bombs, I think. I guess we do have a Tendershoot Dryad in here, we've just never drawn it. So we have fine bombs. This hand's a little bit awkward, but let's go for it. Why is my power cord not working? Okay, there it goes. Alright, my screen just got really dark for absolutely no reason. Alright. So, yeah, this hand's a little bit weird, but it should work out. We get to turn 2 play Dinosaur Hunter, and maybe turn 3 play a Forerunner? Maybe we're playing against white-blue flyers again, which is kind of a problem for our deck, as we saw from last round. I think maybe we actually just grab the island now, and then we play more pirates to make them lose more life off that thing. This way I can also just, like, play Forerunner into Beckett Brass, and just go for it as best we can. Just go for it. They only have 4 cards in hand, so I have card advantage. So I have like a million. Deadeye Rig Hauler with nothing to bounce. Beckett Brass is here. Woo! I don't particularly want to just start trading things. Because I have a Skullduggery in here that could make the blocks a lot better for me. Oh yeah, now Skullduggery is exceptional. I just get to kill both their creatures with it. I think I'm just going to play like double Dinosaur Hunter here. Pinosaur Hunter? I don't know what. I guess I was trying to say pirate and dinosaur at the same time. It's like a pineapple hunter or some shit. Okay, I'm going to play double Dinosaur Hunter so that it looks the least likely for me to have anything here. And then we're going to attack with Forerunner. I feel like this incentivizes them to block the most because it looks the least suspicious because I've actually played some stuff this turn. But if they don't have a counterspell, I just win the game by far because I get to kill their Deadeye Rig Hauler and their Mistcloaked Herald. So if they don't have a counter or pump spell, okay. Pump spell's fine because we still just trade. That actually still ends up just great for me because I still 2-for-1 them. This way I still 2-for-1 them. I got to get rid of all of the cards in their hand at the price of my Forerunner, which isn't that hefty of a price. Forerunner is alright, but not that good. They definitely have a raid trigger here. Yep, just gonna bounce my Beckett Brass. Seems fine. Alright, well, I don't see how I could lose here, because I now just like have card advantage by a mile, and pretty soon I could start using Beckett Brass's ability to just start stealing their creatures. I think that'll happen even faster if I just play 2 pirates this turn and then Beckett Brass next turn. So we'll go in there. We'll trade a 2-2 for a 3-2. That is a good trade for me. Wazam! And turn. The only problem with this is they probably don't attack with the Deadeye Rig Hauler now. Because I have a 3-4 out. So I'll probably never get to steal a creature with Beckett Brass, even though I want to, because it's cool. Should I do that? I guess I can play Beckett Brass and Poisoner this turn, and then I could save something from dying. Which is probably better than just attacking with it. Yeah, now I just get value here. This is a much better play. If they don't have anything in their hand, then I just get to kill their creature at the price of no cards to me. Seems pretty good. Alright, if they play a creature here that survives blocking, then I get to steal it. Oh, they just play a removal spell. Okay. If they ever play a creature that can survive blocking, then I can take it, which is cool. But I don't think I'm ever taking a creature with Beckett Brass. Oh, a non-land permanent? I'll take Favorable Winds then. I did not know it was a non-land permanent. Oh my god. That's so cool. I thought it was just creatures. I got to steal something with Admiral Beckett Brass and Limited, guys. Is that not the coolest? I think that's the coolest. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stand by what I said, and that the lack of removal is definitely a major problem with this deck and why this deck is not very good. But actually, like, the mana base is great. I can pretty easily, pretty consistently cast Admiral Beckett Brass or the Tendershoot Dryad because of triple Evolving Wilds, triple treasure producing cards, plus the single mountain, single forest. I think the mana's actually good here, which I thought was maybe going to be one of the problems with the deck. It is much less of a problem than the lack of removal, I think. So we're going to keep this. We get to play a Siren Storm Tamer into a Fathom Fleet Border at the very least. And hopefully we get to play even more, like a Mark of the Vampire with Siren Storm Tamer backup. Just make like a really big Fathom Fleet Border. Like, Fathom Fleet Border as a 5/5 with Mark of the Vampire, and then as a 7/5 Menace with Captain's Hook. Could be cool. They're on mono black so far, with some card advantage there, so they could just, like, impale me the second I play Mask of the Vampire on something. So I kind of want to just play Captain's Hook first, because I don't lose any value if they kill my creature with Captain's Hook, because Captain's Hook will stay on the battlefield. Unlike Mark of the Vampire, which is an aura. So it will just die when the creature dies. Dusk Charger from our opponents. Luckily, they do not have Ascend yet. Evolving Wilds, one of the worst lands we could have drawn right there, unfortunately. One of the 3 worst lands we could have drawn. We could have drawn any of our Evolving Wilds. Definitely an untapped land would have been great, because then I just cast Beckett Brass and just start going to town. Or Dusk Charger of my own if I want. We'll still just get in there, I think. If they want to trade their Dusk Charger for Fathom Fleet Border, I am really happy with that. And I think they're thinking about it. They might just chump block here. No blocks. Alright. They have 6 permanents, so I doubt that they're going to get the City's Blessing next turn. I'm going to go ahead and grab a Forest with this. This could be a little bit of an awkward choice, because I do have 1 double blue card, but I don't think I have anything that costs double black, so it's either get the Forest for the Tendershoot Dryad or get the Island for the draw 2 cards. So I'll just get the Forest. Gruesome Fate. Somebody's playing Gruesome Fate? I don't think this card's very good. They just spent 3 mana to do 2 damage to me, which is a little weird. Man, untapped land would have been really nice there as well. But I think we're fine without it, because now we're just playing a 4-drop of some kind. We have 7 permanents. I could also just equip a Captain's Hook anyway and have a Skullduggery backup, like Skullduggery their Zealot away, to keep them from Ascend. I think I'm going to just play Beckett Brass, because the upside, if I manage to get in with 3 pirates, is like so high. This is a little risky to just attack with everybody there. Maybe I should have left the Fathom Fleet Border back, because if they're playing a card like Gruesome Fate, they might have other, like, better ways to just drain life from me. And that might be, like, their kind of deck plan. Right, it looks like nothing from opponents. Once again, unfortunately, no land. think that I'm just going to Captain's Hook the border and just go to town. Yeah? Just go for it. Oh, that was a misplay. That was a misplay. If I cast Skullduggery and they didn't have anything in their hand, I could have just killed them, like, right now. I was too much just thinking of, like, Skullduggery as specifically for during combat. If I just cast Skullduggery pre-combat, they would only have had one blocker, which means that they couldn't block the Menace creatures. So that was a pretty big misplay. Pretty bad misplay on my end. I should have just Skullduggery'd first to get rid of the 1/1. Oops, sorry. It's really easy to bump my mic when I'm trying to just adjust it around a little bit. So we'll see... Okay. Looks like they're just giving up. I was gonna say, we'll see what they have to try to survive. Well, I guess, you know, if they didn't have a creature, there could be a situation in which Squire's Devotioning your opponent's creature will win you the game. So that's kind of cool. Well, we made it to 3 wins, so we're at least at average, even if we lose this round, so I'm happy now. Yeah, I think it would be really hilarious. That would be a really cool game to watch in, like, a Pro Tour or something, if someone ends up, like, with a hand with no creatures in it, and then they have to do something like Squire's Devotion their opponent's creature to make the 1/1 vampire to chump block. It could also just look like a next-level Galaxy Mind play if you Squire's Devotion a 3-power creature, and then Legion's Judgment it, because then you have a 1/1 and their creature's gone. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that Squire's Devotion would still give you the token if you enchanted an opposing creature. That is kind of a cool corner case, so it's important to know. If you're in a situation where your opponent has a 10/10 out, and you're at 10 life and you have no creatures, but you have a Squire's Devotion in hand, Squire's Devotion the 10/10. You will survive one more turn. You'll also give them a shit ton of life, but that's okay. So, Forerunner of the Coalition. I don't think I want to just grab Beckett Brass here. I think I'd rather just cast something that I'm definitely just playing next turn. We can Pirate's Prize later. I guess we are just casting Spirewinder next turn. Or Dusk Charger. We have stuff to cast for a while, so I guess we just want our pirate with the biggest upside, and I think that's just Beckett Brass. Maybe we just take Warkite Marauder and just get real aggressive here. That seems fine. If they don't play a creature here, we also get to attack and then Heartless Pillage into Warkite Marauder. Nice! They didn't play a creature. That's really good for us. So now we can get a tiny bit of card advantage back. We can basically just negate their Pirate's Prize. I guess they definitely just discard lands if we do that, though. It uses the most of our mana if we do it, but they definitely just have lands to discard at this point, right? Probably. I think I want to just save Heartless Pillage for later. If they don't play a land this turn, then I'm slapping myself because I could have actually made them discard non-land stuff. Okay, I was about to say, if they have 8 cards and none of them are lands, that would be really impressive. Jashana's Wayfinder, so we can turn that into a 1/2 whenever we attack. They put a Hardy Veteran to their grave. fair enough. That is not a particularly good draw right now, so it's a fine play. So aggressive Urge could be bad from our opponent. Or I guess they could just bounce our Warkite Marauder. It's fine. Guess we'll just do it again. Make them discard cards now. They probably still have 2 lands, but they don't have an enormous hand anymore. They only have 6, so we're putting it down to 4. So we could just Heartless Pillage now and pretend we did it last turn. They're thinking, which means that they have to discard at least 1 actually good card. Nice! We got rid of a Mark of the Vampire. That could have made their Wayfinder a 5/5 lifelink. But, I mean, they also just don't... They also just straight up don't have black mana for that. So that makes sense. They're just going to keep bouncing my Marauder forever. Well, at least the second I can play this Dust Charger, it is just by far the largest creature on the board. So I'm at 7 permanents, so 8 after a Dust Charger's out, so we're still not at enough for that. I can Pirate's Prize and still cast Warkite Marauder, so I kind of want to just do that. Bam. Bam. Warkite Marauder is back again. I think at this point I will sacrifice the Forerunner to kill their Deadeye Righauler if they attack with everybody. And then we're just hoping to get in there just because Dust Charger's bigger than their stuff. Jesus Christ. Could we not? Hadana's Climb's back. Sweet. That's tremendously awful. Yeah, this is another situation. I have to just outrace that, and I don't think I can. 4, 5, 6, 7 mana? I can only cast 1 thing this turn no matter what, so I think I just play Tender Shoot. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so Warkite Marauder can't, like, successfully block anything. So I think we're just blocking with a Saproling this turn. Which is so awkward. That being a 3/3 is really nice, though. Now they can't really attack with the Gilt Grove Stalker. I think they just put a counter on Wayfinder and attack with a 4/4 this turn, and that's the best play. Colossal Dreadmaw. Oh boy. Yep, attack with a 4/4. Attack with the 2/4 still. Like, yeah, I'll just block that with my 3/3. So, we actually do have a chance to outrace this now. Because I can Deadeye Righauler. I'd have a lot better chance if I just drew a basic land there, so I could cast 2 cards this turn. Could also just play a 5/5, and that might be okay. But I think I have to make sure that Hadana's Climb does not flip, so I need to just play Deadeye Righauler. So I can play Righauler and Hook in the same turn. And then I'm just not putting Hook on anything. So we're going to go like that. We're going to turn off... Doesn't matter. Turn off Dreadmaw. Hit you for 2. Get your Wayfinder back in your hand so that your Hadana's Climb cannot flip. They do get to explore again, but that's fine, because it's a lot better for them to just explore again than to flip their Hadana's Climb. And they couldn't flip the Hadana's Climb on any other creature, so I was forced to bounce their explore creature. Because it had 2 counters on it already, and Hadana's Climb flips once the 3rd counter is placed. Looks like I could get there here. Mark of the Vampire helps a lot, I think. So next turn, they get to flip it and make Dreadmaw a 12/12 flying trample. I have to just gain as much life as possible here, I think. What happens if I attack with everybody? I can't attack with this 3/3. They have 4 blockers, so they block 1, 2, 3, 4, take 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They go to 3. But then I just, like, really die. Oh my god. If I play a Spirewinder, I can block Dreadmaw, but it's got Trample. I think I hook the Marauder and lifelink it, and if I don't die next turn... If I don't die next turn, good. Which, they can only get in for 12 flying, and I'll be at 14. So I'll go to 2, unless they have an additional pump spell, in which case I'm just dead. So yeah, not saving Marauder back to block just because it's got Trample, so I'm screwed if I'm just blocking. So I don't think they can just go for the win here, so they have to just keep Hadana's Climb back to make sure that they have a blocker. Wait, but they can't, because the way Warkite Marauder has Menace. So counter on the Sworn Guardian. So I think next turn I might just be attacking with everybody, and I just lose if they have Fog, but otherwise I'm good. They clearly have a raid trigger, so they get to raid my Marauder back to my hand and try and win that way. I don't think that wins, though, because they only have 4 blockers. Wait, no, they have a Pioneer. They have a lot of blockers. Recover on the... Alright. So, that yeah, they only have 4 blockers, then. They don't have enough mana for the Pioneer. So, 4 blockers to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers means 3 of them get in there, and I just kill them. So, yeah, and we know what their last card is, so we know that they're dead. That was horrifying. That was really close. Another Hadana's Climb. Yeah, I ended the game with 14 life, but they could have just given Dreadmaw +6/+6 flying, and then it's a 12/12 flying trample, so I kind of just ended the game with 2 life, if you think about it that way. That's how close they were to killing me. Oh man. That was an intense game. Bomb v bomb. Tendershoot Dryad back at it again, saving my ass. I did mention earlier how I didn't see Tendershoot Dryad in any of those games I was losing. And then I saw it in that game that I was losing, and you see what happens. Tendershoot Dryad's ridiculous. Such a strong card. Alright. So I can Forerunner into a mono black pirate. Opponent goes forced. Opponent goes first. So I get to draw a card. So this is kind of like a 2-card hand. Because I know I have Forerunner in addition to another pirate. This hand just seems too awkward for me. I only need 1 island and this hand can do things. But I don't think I'm going to keep it. We are on the draw, so mulliganing isn't the absolute end of the world. I mean, I could, like, Forerunner into the 3/3. That's not that bad of a start. I'm gonna keep it. I changed my mind. Like, absolute worst case scenario, I Forerunner into the 3/3. And I have a 2/2 and a 3/3 out to not die immediately. And then just whenever I draw land. Okay, thank goodness. That helps so much. Thank you, Triple Evolving Wilds deck. You're the best. Headstrong Brute from our opponent. Forerunner it is. Maybe I just want to grab a Poisoner to block that thing and kill it. But if they play another Pirate, then that just has Menace. Just take a Prosperous Pirates for turn 5. It's turn 5, I'm already just playing like a Harpy. Don't really know what's best here. We'll take the Death Toucher. So we get a treasure token off of Pirate's Prize, so I think I'm just going to play Evolving Wilds for an island here. We'll save the treasure token for Brass or Tendershoot Dryad, whichever we draw first. Yep, depending on what they play here, the play next turn if they do nothing is just to Evolving Wilds into an island and save Direfleet Poisoner for blocks. Another Headstrong Brute. Well, that's a really good start. That's 2 3/3 menaces. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna double block one of them. Great. Not a great spot to be in right now. They don't have Menace anymore after one of them dies, but they're probably just going to play another Pirate. Yep. Well, this is pretty bad. Luckily, I only have to trade 1 2/2. For one of them. So whichever one they kill, I'm happy with either one. These are both good cards, so I'm not happy to lose either, but luckily there's not one that I'm like really not trying to lose. So I can play Mausoleum Harpy, or I can play Spirewinder, or I can play Pirate Surprise or Secrets. I think I'll just play Spirewinder, because I'm not blocking the Menace guy no matter what, and Spirewinder and Mausoleum Harpy can both block Buccaneer, and I think I just want to wait until I have the City's Blessing to play the Harpy. Wow. Luckily that doesn't have haste. Luckily that doesn't have haste. I think I have to just double block this, actually. They get to kill my Spirewinder here. I'm gonna have to block their 4/3 with 3/3, which is real awkward. I have to just like stop my opponent from doing anything here. Mark of the Vampire is a way to get back into this game later. So draw a couple cards. See what we get. So we'll draw some more. 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have the blessing, but yeah, I'm just going to draw more cards this turn. I am going to take 4 damage this turn, unfortunately, since I didn't just, like, cast out the Harpy immediately. But luckily that means I can just trade with a Dusk Charger. Ooh, or a Saproling token! Come on, Tendershoot Dryad. We need another treasure-making card now, though, because of the way that I that I played to just draw a bunch of cards that turn, so we can't just Tendershoot Dryad and survive, unfortunately. That would be so good if we could. Instead, I think we're playing a Harpy. Maybe we just play Dusk Charger first. We have 7 mana, so we can Dusk Charger and Siren Storm Tamer and save up the Storm Tamer mana. Seems okay. Guess it all depends what they play here. They could play something really scary. Wow, that's freaking good. Bring back both the 3/3 Menacers. We are going to need a big boy with lifelink to get back into this game. Oh, we're gonna kill the Buccaneer. Like, we've got card advantage for sure. At least. 7, 8, 9 permanents if I play 2 more cards this turn, so I can't get Ascension yet. Why'd you... Oh my god, I need to stop letting the auto-tapper do its thing, because now I don't have Siren Storm Tamer mana up. For absolutely no reason. Just absolutely no reason not to save up the blue there. Literally the only other card I could cast after Dusk Charger was Siren Storm Tamer, so why wouldn't you just leave up 3 blue? Oh my god. Now it's got First Strike. Good lord. We're at 5. Cool. We have 7 mana. So if we spend 5 of our 7 and get 2 more, we'll have 4 mana left over. That is not enough to play Tendershoot Dryad yet. I think we lifelink Dusk Charger. Because now it's going to be a 7/7 lifelink. And now we have the City's Blessing for Tendershoot and Mausoleum Harpy. If they have Buccaneer's Bravado at any point, we just lose. Which is kind of lame. That card is kind of just like the win out of nowhere card. Buccaneer's Bravado you for 12, exactly, if they have it in hand. Brute doesn't have Menace right now, though, so we might have to just block Brute so that we don't die to Bravado. And now Brute has Menace. And they have the 2 mana for Bravado, if they have it. Do I have to block Brute here? If I don't block Brute, I take 9, which puts me at 3, but then I go back up to 10? No blocks. Really hope we draw land. Shit. Alright, play Pirates and Border, and then we can next turn Tendershoot. Because we have 7 mana, so I can spend 5 of it for Pirates, and then we have 3... We have 2 mana left in terms of lands, and then 2 treasure tokens. We spend 1 treasure token to play Border, and we save the other treasure token to play Dryad next turn. Or, if we're in a really bad spot, we'll have to save it for Storm Tamer's ability. Let's gain 7. This is again one of those situations, if they just have a Buccaneer's Bravado, we just lose. But otherwise, now we can double block with a Prosperous Pirates and a Fathom Fleet Border and save Storm Timer still. And then we can play a Dryad and start just blocking with Saberlings. If they save something back to block, which the only thing that they have that can block is a Sleek Schooner. So Mutiny, so that I have to block with Storm Tamer. My other option there is to just sack Storm Tamer, which is the exact same thing that's going to happen. I'm just going to have to block with Storm Tamer anyway. I guess that way I have like a larger body out. They have no mana untapped if they do this. They have 2 creatures that can't block and a Sleek Schooner, so they have to chump block with a Sleek Schooner. I think I have to counter that. Which is really sad, because now I don't have Tendershoot Dryad anymore. But yeah, the only thing they have that can block is Sleek Schooner. Which just chump blocks Dust Charger, and they have to block, so this is actually really good for me. It would be absolutely phenomenal if I can draw a forest here. So they can do 8 to me if they want, or 9 to me if they want, but then they just die if they do that. Nice! And I make them sack the Sea Red. 7 mana. So I can play a Harpy and a Scoundrel. I think that's the best play. I have no idea why they didn't attack with... I have no idea why they didn't attack. The Headstrong Brutes just can't block, period, ever. Even if they control another pirate, they can't block with them. So they have to chump block the Sleek Schooner now. And then I go up to 17. I think we saved this game from the brink of disaster. With some discipline in not... in several times in a row, making the play that wouldn't let us play Tendershoot Dryad. Just because it's like the better play on board. Very close match. Very close match. They could have easily had a Buccaneers Bravado at any point there and just destroyed us. So that was very nice. That was either very lucky on our part, or they just didn't draft that many Buccaneers Bravado, like maybe they only have 1 or 2. Alright. I technically can't cast anything in here, but I only need to draw 1 more land, and then I can cast almost everything. I just can't cast Beckett Grass. So, let's grab a swamp. Grab a swamp, and we'll probably draw a land by turn 4. It's 4 draws to get there. I guess it's only 3 draws to get there, since we're on the play. Dinosaur Hunter. Luckily, I don't really think we have any dinosaurs. Encampment Keeper. Well, we got the 4th land on turn 4, but it's a tapped land, unfortunately. This isn't, like, the worst thing in the universe, because they only have a 1-1 and a 2-2 out right now. So we could still be in an okay spot. Literally, we just cast Spirewinder and we can block any of their stuff easily. Except for that, Spirewinder can't really block that. Alright, so... since I can't block the Vampire Revenant anyway, I think I just want to play Dusk Charger here. Because I'm not blocking the flying creature, we're just gonna block a ground guy. Suncrested Pterodon, pretty nice, 2/5 flyer. So now I just play Spirewinder and I try to just get to the City's Blessing before they kill me or get to removal. I could also play like a Captain's Hook and put it on Dust Charger, but then it's just a 5/3 just for fun, and I'm taking 5 that turn. I think I have to just place Firewinder here. So I've got some blockers. Got the removal. That's pretty bad. So Dusk Charger is stopping 3 damage by blocking, so he'll stop 5 damage by attacking with a Mark of the Vampire on him. So that's a little bit more. So you should probably just do that. Could also just attack without a Mark of the Vampire on him. And then they could double block, and I get to kill all their ground guys, and then I Rig Hauler the 3/1 flyer. But then if they don't block and I end up Rig Hollering, that could be really bad for me, so I think I have to just Mark of the Vampire. I'm probably not going to win here. I'm really on the back foot. My deck doesn't have any removal for their flyers. So now we can Captain's Hook and gain 7 life, go to 11, then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They only have 8, so if I just attack and they don't have any response, then I can... They probably have Divine Verdict and I just lose no matter what. Let's find that out. Let's just attack and get Divine Verdict so I can concede. Yep. Opponent's deck had removal. Mine did not. If they did not have removal there, I actually would have been in a pretty good spot, because then I get to hit him for 5, gain back up 5. So then I'm at 9. I then Deadeye Rig Hauler the 3/1. Then Rig Hauler blocks the 2/2 and kills it, and I only take 3, and then I'm at 6. And then I just gain 5 more again. Alright. 5 wins, 3 losses. Certainly not bad at all. I will take that. Let's see what we get in our prize packs here before I log off for the day. We've got Jace, Cunning Castaway. That is a Planeswalker. So definitely a good pull. Not a card I think I'm ever going to play, but it is a Planeswalker, so there's that. Well, thank you everybody for watching another ranked draft of Rivals of Ixalan. This one certainly went a little bit better than I thought it would. I had like no removal in my deck, so I think getting more than an average 3/3 is pretty respectable. I did have a lot of bombs though, but again, as I said with my 3/3 deck list, bombs cannot always just take you to victory. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again for some more Magic Arena videos very soon.